9 o'clock. Ready, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Judy made the second, Judy made the motion, Todd seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's stand up, say a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. For the agenda there. Public comment.
Cindy Van Boston. I don't know how many of you received Chuck Grassley's weekly email, but I found it ironic last Saturday that his newsletter was entitled, "The Public's Business Ought to Be Public." Since I've been attending the Board of Supervisor meetings this past year, I wouldn't necessarily say everything happening in Page County is out in the public. I'm not going to rehash last week, but I would encourage people to go watch the video from the July 25th meeting, and the public meeting of the Board of Supervisors was video number 3. And I wasn't here to observe in person all the budget meetings with the department heads, but I watched via Zoom several of them as I could while I was driving, and I did go back and watch a good portion of them again on YouTube. The line item budget is not published for us to refer back to when an expenditure is questioned later in the year. So we are relying on the checks and balances with the Board of Supervisors responsible for reviewing and approving monthly claims and various other county services. It's one of the reasons they were elected. The Board of Supervisors is not elected to come in here and bless the past actions of the other departments when they've already happened. That's not what's supposed to be happening. In my experience in a school, the school business official is required to have a minimum level of education, apply for and obtain a license, and receive a set number of continuing education hours to maintain that license. Now, I'm not advocating at all for licensing of any county officials because they're elected by the voters. But I am disappointed in the way that the county government is run in comparison to the business side of a school. We don't have a monarchy with kings and queens sitting in department head positions in this county. But if there's not oversight and accountability, it appears that way. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The veil is being pulled back, not just at the federal government level, but down to the local level. And that includes cities, schools, and counties. Tax and spend has been allowed to occur because citizens have busy lives and they want to believe they can trust the people they've elected. When we hear Iowa code is not being followed because legislators have not changed the way we want it, you can't blame us for questioning your actions. A revolution occurred to create this country, this free country that we live in, when a 2% tax was levied on tea. So don't kid yourself that a second revolution won't happen. Americans, even mild-mannered Christian Republicans in Page County, will reach a line in the sand that they'll refuse to cross. And I'm just going to finish with something Carl Sagan said, which, by the way, he was a scientist, not a politician. But if we are not able to ask skeptical questions or to interrogate those who tell us that something is true, to be skeptical of those in authority, then we are up for grabs for the next charlatan, political or religious, who comes along. It wasn't enough, Jefferson said, to enshrine some rights in the Constitution or Bill of Rights. The people had to be educated and they had to practice their skepticism. Otherwise, we don't run the government runs us. And the people are the boss of the government. They're the boss of the county governments, the city governments, the federal governments, the people, we the people. So I'm just hoping everybody remembers that. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Anything else? If not, JD, come in.
Good morning, JD King, Page County Engineer. It's gonna be a busy August, this August. Lots of stuff going on. The engineers update went out Tuesday afternoon with the gradation coming out yesterday. And you have it on in front of you. We had four blade guys out in the motor graders, all in rock with 6 trucks. More than usual. Couple of district operators are mowing their gravels in the north and northwest. Pipe crew. The spray patchers were working on the north side of the county. The pipe crews over west of Essex removing a field entrance bridge on 150th Street. That'd be east to the new bridge, putting a large pipe in there. We did some seeding south of Coyne and fencing. And last evening, there was a power line down in Norwich. And people wonder why I dislike trees close to the right of way. That's one reason. There was doing tire work at the shop. Tandem 42 has a fuel issue. We're upgrading our DEF supply at the outlying sheds. A couple services on the dirt machinery was done, and the sprayer's down right now for us. Basically, we think that all those years that it's set, the seal's probably dried out, and now we need to replace some things. We're doing project paperwork at the office, finishing up 280th Street and the Essex West Bridge, and working on bridge on C Avenue in the southwest. And I'd like to get started on some of the Yorktown design. Waiting on the contractor for J55 and Peak Avenue for that base stabilization and seal coat. We're continuing to check the stone they're making that down at Braddyville. High gradations attached to the update. This month is the letting for the North Essex Bridge. And I do have a not earlier than start date on that. We let it, theoretically they could start right away, but we're not interested in that traffic. There'd be harvest traffic. Hopefully it'll be mostly gone when we tear the bridge out and replace it. ISAC's coming up. We're working on the annual report for last fiscal year. Questions for me about the update?
Do you have any idea when they're coming to J55?
Nothing since I talked to them last till end of the month,
Might be end of the month,
this month.
into August is one
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Do they have the rock made yet, do you know?
They don't have the rock made. They're still making Zero Roadstone. And we did bring in some more chips for J Road, given the heat. Now, the last item on the engineer update is a bit about the annex building, a couple of scenarios. While it's not strictly secondary roads, we do have interest. And for details, we got the guy that did the work on the drawings, a couple alternatives there, Nick.
Nick Hire, Page County Technician, charge of quality management for all projects in the county. The drawings that you have in front of you, the first page there is the contact information for the civil engineer at HGM. I believe JD has given you guys that name already once before. On the first page there is the contact information for HGM, the architect. that JD's been in contact with about this. As far as I know, we have not actually started any official plans or anything like that. The next two are a couple drawings that I put together to illustrate how I think best to go about putting the west entrance in. The first page there shows the parking lot, 45 by 110, with some local cost or estimated costs based on previous project contract prices and dirt work, things of that nature. The first one shows a set of stairs leading up to the second floor entrance and a handicap ramp. The rest of the ground would stay relatively where it is, other than some small excavation to lower the parking lot down to the depth that we need and provide the sub-base relief down there. The second drawing is a rough look of what it would look like to bring the ground elevation up to the second floor entrance, so there would be no stairs or handicap ramp. In the right drawing, you can see there's a blue shaded area that would need to be a retaining wall of some kind attached to the building to hold the dirt back. The parking lot's the same size, so the cost would remain the same. The second drawing has a few more obstacles involved with it. There's a gas meter that sits on the northwest corner of the building that would need to be moved. The dirt that would level the ground to the second floor would have to be purchased and brought in to bring the ground level up to the second floor. Sorry. We do have a pile to get that started. I don't know exactly how much that is. My rough estimate, it would take close to 1,500 cubic yards to bring the ground up to where it is. So it would match the second floor. Any questions on those two?
On the prices here, is that the estimates? They all show to be the same,
There's not much difference, huh?
they're the same basically. Is that for the second option?
That actually was just a mistake of mine. I didn't alter those because I did not put the added dirt work in on the second drawing. I just changed the drawing.
Oh, okay.
Is the second one immediate plan?
It, as little as I know about it, I would think it would be because it is a
Ground
ground floor entrance. There would be no need for stairs. The stairs and ramp are not included in any of the prices that are there. This is very rough numbers. I am not an engineer, so I am not familiar with all the ADA compliant codes or anything like that. So that would be up to the engineer that designs a project. And I'm sure the numbers that they come up with are going to be totally different than mine. Just wanted to get something out there. Be like, well, this is just for the concrete and
Basically
the
parking
rock
lot.
that goes underneath of it, based off of a previous price that we've been quoted for that material is what I base those numbers off of.
I like the second drawing a lot better than the first one, you know, with the zero entrance rather than the handicapped ramp and the stairs. That one looks complicated.
Now, with that, I know we can't push on the building, but past the building, once you get past all the sidewalks and stuff, could it not be just dirt slope to mow and not have all that retaining wall stuff, just slope it? Where it goes all the way around the parking lot, just,
Theoretically, it could. We'd have erosion control problems at the beginning with no vegetation on top to hold the dirt. It'd rill and gully and
yeah, I mean, that'd be like any dirt project anywhere. would
Yeah.
Have that, so, cause that would save a ton of money not to have all that retaining wall.
it's just a lot of dirt to hold back, and I knew that a retaining wall.
Yeah,
would
how
probably
tall, do you have any idea how tall that retaining wall is roughly, is it 4 foot or what is it?
To get from the existing ground level to the floor of the second story inside that building is like 62, 65 inches, somewhere in there.
5, 6
Yeah,
foot.
5, 6 foot.
So the retaining wall will be that tall.
Yeah.
These are just approved sketches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just something to think
concept
about,
statements, yeah.
just something to think about here, yeah.
So the next thing would be to hire an architect. then.
Well, the main reason we needed an architect to know about pushing on the building, right? That's the.
Yeah.
Pushing all that dirt up against the building, see what that's gonna do.
And when I,
Beyond that's just dirt. I mean, beyond that's just, it's not It's just shaping it to drain water is all we're doing beyond the building. So I don't know if we need to get all wound up about that, spend a fortune, but just make sure we have the building protected where we don't push on it. So is that something you can draw up, or we need to go to this HGM, or who?
Yeah, because it is a public building and will go through a public build process, it has to be an architectural engineer that does so. As what I've been told by the DOT's urban development engineer.
Well.
This gives us a good start.
Yeah, get some pictures to look at. I do think if there's any way to get dirt up there, it'd be better than trying to build all kinds of steps and stairs, ramps.
Right. Yeah, I do think the second is the best way to go if there's a good way to do it. It doesn't blow up the budget.
Yeah. My goodness.
Is that something that do you have to bid out for a architect? Or do you just choose one and,
Well, we could do,
That's Farnsworth.
we could do HGM or we could do Farnsworth. We may have another project with Farnsworth. Possibly.
We had a alien image, so, the roof for us is gonna be replaced, so I've been
okay,
working with the adjuster right now to get the element to move forward. So.
okay.
Then we'll need 10 out of 10, we'll have.
So, yeah, so
So
I
if
wonder
we-
if you just quote it out or have them submit some quotes to us?
If we
Either
do,
both of them, if you want to ask both of them, or,
do Farnsworth for maybe the roof and the courthouse roof and this,
yeah.
yeah, to see,
it's-
since they did the windows and everything, yeah. Might as well get moving forward on it.
Yeah, I would like to see that done and then just
Me too,
at least get some actual costs,
right,
so we know kind of what we're dealing with.
yes,
When they, if we
get moving forward on it.
to visit with them about what they're gonna draw, though, I'd like to see it both ways. We're just using dirt versus all that concrete.
Yeah,
Retaining wall,
we
they
could
can
ask
draw
them.
it,
I mean,
they give a cost on both sides. 'Cause
they
I-
might tell you that doing the retainer is better just
Maybe.
from an erosion standpoint, and they might, give you some more information of not to do it that way. And there might be something that you have to have some kind of retainer in there up against the building, just to
You
keep
will against the
that,
building, I just
Right.
mean all the way around there.
For people who aren't familiar with this, we're talking about the annex building and possibly moving the engineer's office up to the second floor of the annex and making that so that we have an entrance into the second, immediately into the second floor. So you can go right into that second floor and not first floor up. And get rid of the little building
West side.
on the west side.
West side, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, where it slopes down, possibly building that up into a parking lot and then be able to, where there's a window up there, make that a door and go in that way. Well, it might be a better alternative into getting in there and get rid of the little engineers building that we have and sell that and put it back on the tax rolls and whatever. Yeah. Switch, since we have the annex and the second floor isn't being utilized, it's a great,
Yeah, we went,
we looked at it already and
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, the lighting is wonderful. It'd be a great thing for the engineer, and if you could walk right into it, it would be wonderful for people. We've looked at that too, yeah, but it's not cheaper, but it might be better, to be able to just walk in for people. Not to have to walk upstairs or to go through the first floor to get up to the second. So just to have a parking lot to walk into the separate entrance. So that's what we're looking at.
So should we see if these architects wanna come to a meeting and talk to us or something, or click on a call or something, we can visit with them? Could send them this, which give them a good idea of what we're talking about. just to give them an idea what we want to look at. I think just send them
Yeah,
this and kind of talk to them.
Reach out, see if they come to a meeting, or I don't know if this is good enough to get the ball rolling.
I would
This
think that they would be
something
able to
they
look at it.
They
and
can
get it.
figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a picture.
Maybe Melissa can, since she's talking to them about the adjuster and about the roof anyway, can reach out.
See if they could jump on a meeting that
Thank you for your work,
Yep,
Nick.
thank you.
Appreciate that.
this gives us a picture to send them, so. Okay,
Nick,
do you have those in email or,
Yes.
okay. Let's got the engineer update. Number 6 on the agenda here is, the new Page County Conservation Director. Is Randy here too? Just come up and introduce her.
Good morning. I know most of you, but my name is Randy McNutt. I'm the elected president of the Page County Board of Conservation. I'm here to introduce our newly hired executive director, Michelle Spinagle. So she can take questions from me.
Good morning.
morning. Welcome.
Want to introduce you? Just introduce yourself, I guess. So tell us. a little bit about you.
Michelle Spinagle. I'm originally from Griswold. I live outside of Villisca now, married Jared Spinagle. And so a little bit of my background with the job, I went to Iowa Western Community College, got a criminal justice degree, then moved down to Northwest, got a recreation and park management degree. While I was in school, started my career as a seasonal Montgomery County Conservation, moved on to Viking Lake State Park. Did that for about 6 years total, seasonal work, and then I got my first full-time job, went up to Hamilton County as the park manager slash park ranger. Went to ILEA in 2017, graduated in 2018 with my ILEA certificate. Moved on, went back to state parks, went to Blackhawk State Park for about 3 years or so. Moved up, I was a technician there, moved up to park manager, went to Lake Manawa for a little while and had to move back home, back to family, and I've been looking for a job down here ever since. And this popped up and I'm excited to be here, excited to be back in parks, so.
Oh, good.
Welcome.
All right.
Yep.
Any questions for me at all?
Sounds like you're very well qualified.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm excited. I've worked pretty hard to get to
Yep.
this point,
Good.
so
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Glad
make
to
a
have
big
ya.
difference. Yes.
Sounds like you've done a lot in your young.
Yes. Yeah,
career.
yep, about 10 years experience altogether, once it's all said and done, so been doing it for a long time. Very
Good, good.
excited.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Mhm.
You got a lot of work ahead of you.
I sure
so-
do, don't I? And I love
You
it.
sure do good.
Yes,
Good,
yep,
good.
I love it.
We're glad to have you on board.
Yes,
So,
thank you very
yes.
much.
And I see you got a grant yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep,
great to
for
work on that.
Nottaway. Start working on that road and getting that fixed.
Good
so.
deal.
Yeah,
It's a long time coming.
yeah, yep, yep,
So, yeah.
yeah. Hopefully it all
And I
works out.
talked to one of the horse people and they're excited.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yep, a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Lot of stuff to do, so.
And you can work hand in hand with Montgomery County, I understand.
Absolutely, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I enjoy working with other departments. There's no reason for us not to all work together to make everything a little easier, you know?
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah, good for both of us.
yes, and everybody's got different equipment. We can share equipment and it'll be perfect. So,
Good deal.
Nice.
yeah,
Good deal.
yep,
Well, we're glad to have you here. Thanks for coming in and introducing yourself, and
thank you.
Randy for coming, and Jane from the
Yes.
board.
Thank you very much.
If you need
All right.
anything from us, let us know.
I sure
Yes.
will.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
thanks, Michelle.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Next up, we have Jeff Curtis for jail update.
He's on.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Jeff, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Looks like you guys got some pretty serious storms down there last night, like we did up here again.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everybody up here is also tired of rain. It's been pretty wild. Quick update. Got the contract executed with Crane Construction, finalizing the rest of their necessary safety plans, insurance programs. We have also are expecting Snyder and Associates to be on site out there probably early afternoon to lay out where the new driveway going back to the north is going to be located at, along with the retention pond down on that lower section on the, basically in the southwest corner. Once I get confirmation that they got all they're actually gonna be installing lath and ribbons. That way the board can go out there and take a look at it. We'll set up a quick meeting whenever you guys are available, go out and take a look at it. So everybody is aware of where that drive is proposed to go. If we need to make any extra adjustments to allow for a little extra clearance with any of the trees, at that point in time, we can kind of discuss those options and go through that process. So again, they're supposed to be there. They're out at the prison this morning, and then they're gonna piggyback that going on site today. Like Sean was gonna be there early afternoon. Continuing to work with the design team, also working directly with the state, getting the rest of our permitting processes up and finalized. I know Tony was gonna get the notice put into the paper for our stormwater pollution prevention plan, commonly called a SWIP plan for all the erosion control. Make sure we have all necessary permits with the Iowa DNR. So then once Crane Construction mobilizes on site, they'll put all the necessary SWIP measures, silt fence, straw wattles and stuff into position, make sure we're protecting the stream down there on the south side. So that'll be ongoing. And then we're expecting the electrical bid to go out. We're cleaning up some of the smoke evac questions we had with a little difference. And then the electrical package and then the other 2 bid packages will be going back out for bid again, so we can get the project back in within budget. So process continues to keep going. Everybody understands what it is to work with the state sometimes. So lots of meetings, lots of phone calls, and trying to find the right person to talk to get the necessary questions answered. So we continue to go with that. So any questions for me?
How soon do we need to meet out there to look at that once they lay all that out? How soon does that need to be?
I would say we're probably looking about a week, to be honest with you, Jacob.
We can-
No big push on that. Just for the fact, we're probably minimum of 3 weeks out, maybe 4 weeks before we start seeing Justin and his team mobilizing. So as soon as I get confirmation that the lath was done this afternoon, I'll reach out to you folks. We'll set up a time first part of next week to take a look at it.
Depending on the time, we can do it first part next week or do it before our meeting next week if you want.
Okay.
Just we can start an hour earlier or something and go out there and look at it together.
The plan will be is once I get confirmation, I'll shoot an email out to all the team members. That way, if you're out and about this weekend, you can kind of take a look at it also. Again, they'll use the total station. They'll be super accurate. So again, if we can take some measurements, if we need to relocate something or shift something a little bit further to the west to accommodate it, we'll definitely do that.
Okay.
Then Justin and his team were also notified that there's not to be any type of tree clearing or tree cutting until we have official sign off from you folks there.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Anything else?
How's the electric bids? Did you get?
We haven't put those out yet. Again, I've talked to 4 contractors who are going to be super aggressive at it. We're just finalizing. We may have to change up some of the controls on the smoke vac system. So before we let that go, get that out to bid, we want to make sure we get that cleaned up. So we don't have any scope gaps, as we affectionately call it, to where we end up having to do a change order.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Okay.
soon.
Yep, see ya.
Number 8 on the agenda is the Veterans Affairs position requirement by code here. Talk about that position. We need to do this. This is something that we have got a memo from the county attorney on this. Has everybody seen this or?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
reading over it, I mean, my opinion is the Veterans Commission has made a plan and have a very qualified candidate, but we make sure we just follow the posting requirements maybe as I was reading through this. He
Did
laid
you
out
read the
posting
other
requirements.
email about the 2017 minutes
Yeah, I did. On that,
where a veteran was required,
yeah, but with a different board here, it's not the same board.
but it's still in place.
So do we need to rescind that then?
If you're going to rescind it, but you need to remember the veteran's preference that Carl is quoting.
Okay.
So the proper procedures, maybe, there's a couple of procedures. Did they get emailed this? Did the commissioners get emailed this, memo?
I don't know.
Did you guys get this?
Did you? No,
I just got
okay.
it maybe yesterday. so-
Carl sent it yesterday, yes.
And so to go through that, I mean, it sounds like there's in the code, there's a publishing of the position, 10 days notice, maybe follow that. But there is you can have a temporary administrator without some of those things.
But we still have one in place right now, so
Okay, well then.
we don't need a temporary.
Right, so what needs to happen is maybe you just need to let the commissioners see this. And follow that procedure
I think right now,
and advertise it.
the board of supervisors. By making that motion years ago, you guys have the requirement that it has to be a veteran because it's that administrator position. So you guys need to take some formal action to basically change that. Then if you're not going to require it to be a veteran anymore, then you're gonna switch it out of the executive director position to an administrator position. And then that allows them to hire a veteran or a non-veteran for that position. But I think what Carl was also trying to state was there is a veteran's preference in the Code of Iowa too that needs to be looked at too, and you guys need to make sure you consider that in your decisions.
And Carl isn't able to be here today, so if you want to wait until he can be here to fully explain it in person.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to talk to him.
But we need this stuff to be forwarded to you guys, so you guys can see this, all of what he's highlighted, but
We haven't seen that.
yeah.
He just sent it yesterday afternoon.
So we can send that to you, but
And Janet had reached out last week, and so she had asked for the position to be changed, if it was changed. So I did work on a job description, which I sent to her, which I believe you guys already received, correct? Because
Think
the
so.
job description prior to that stated it was required to be a veteran. So if the Board of Supervisors changes that, then they have the new job description to move forward with that allows it to be a non-veteran.
the one that says administrator, that's the new one. It says administrator at the top. Is that what
There's
you're?
one,
Carl sent that out yesterday also.
Yeah,
He
you should have
attached it. It's updated 7/24.
yeah, the one that's updated July of 24 is the new one.
Yeah, I see. So that would work if we did a action of the board to open it up. This would then apply. So we need to send this, well, let's send all this information to the commissioners, and let them look at it and see the process, and then we can look at putting some on the agenda if we want to take action to open, change, whatever. So we could do that next week. We can work on it.
I want to try to get Carl on the agenda maybe next week if
Yeah,
That'd be
possible.
fine.
Because the problem you have right now is by the action the Board of Supervisors has taken in the past, it requires that position to be filled because that per the board's action, it stated it was required to be an executive director, which in the code, then that states it's a requirement that it be a veteran.
Okay.
So if the Board of Supervisors does not want to require it to be a veteran, then you need to switch it to an administrator position, which then allows it to be filled by either a veteran or a non-veteran.
See, did he say in here anything about a resolution, or does it need to be a simple motion, or was it a motion back in those minutes in 17? I don't,
It's a motion.
okay,
But I think Carl was just trying to state too that per the Code of Iowa, there's also that veterans
Veterans
preference.
preference.
yeah, I
Yes.
saw that.
So that everybody needs to remain mindful of that, the Board of Supervisors and the VA Commission as well.
Okay, well, so we need to send all this to you guys, everybody over there. and look at it, and then see if next week soon enough we can look at it together and make a plan. That sound good? So we'll send you some information. Agreed. Do you have anything you guys need to add to anything?
No,
Good?
we're just trying to get this worked out.
Yeah,
It's been a long drawn out
yeah,
thing that didn't need to be.
should be simple.
Because according to the code of Iowa, it can be a veteran or a non-veteran.
Is that work
But-
for the executive director also? I'm trying to understand.
But the problem, Ron, is the veterans' preference, and it goes back to the 2017 saying where the board changed it to it being a veteran rather than a non-veteran. So,
They're going against the code of Iowa by doing that.
no,
Yes, they are.
no, it can be either one, but at that point, they chose a veteran in 2017.
No,
They can choose one or the other, and they chose a veteran at that point. So,
It sounds like we just have to undo what the
well,
previous board
if
did.
that's
just
what,
to-
if that's what the board chooses to
Right.
do, yes,
Okay.
yes, so,
and like I said,
but again, veterans' preference, so you've got to be careful.
the commissioners are involved and I trust their judgment. Let's advertise it the way it says and let's figure it
Yeah.
out, so.
We just have to watch what we do.
Yep,
Okay, so we will send this information to you guys to read through, everybody,
And
and
try to get Carl here and,
see if we can work on it next week even.
Yeah.
Just to keep this moving.
You
We
have
don't
that.
have much time left for Janet.
yeah,
How much time, Ron, is there roughly?
first of September,
So we
right?
need to get moving on it, yeah.
Okay.
And I think Carl addressed everything in the letter. So,
Like how we can do it, says the board would need to take steps to.
yes, so
I don't think it'll take much, it's just moving forward.
So we can put on the agenda, and make a motion.
Yeah.
There's just some advertising things you'd want to get with, that's when you send this to you for posting it. The way the code says to post it, I think, if I understand it right. Then you can take applications. So we need to send this to you guys to look at. And, sure, you can ask questions back to Carl or however, back even if they want to ask some questions. So we'll put this in the agenda next week to,
Yeah, you don't need to, I mean, if you get this stuff, then you can talk to Carl too.
yeah,
So,
Yeah, if I can get him to answer.
that's a
Yeah.
challenge, isn't it? I've had that challenge too.
Yeah.
So, well, let us know, just send it, if you send it and he doesn't answer, we'll try to push to get an answer, so. Okay. So we will get this going next week, get this information to you guys today to forward around, everybody read it. So we got a plan, we're gonna get the information and go to next week, try to get this moving. Okay, is there anything else on that? Good. Next, we have board communication. See, so our schedule next week, we'll work on this. Is there anything else coming? We're gonna appoint the Board of Adjustment next week also, I have on here.
Yep,
So that's coming. If anybody's interested in that.
and I've got a essential service meeting on Monday. And there's a potential I might even have a Board of Health meeting same day, so I might be double booked. So I know they were gonna try to schedule one for the 5th of August, but
Okay,
it's a central service meeting.
it's essential services.
Oh, essential. I thought it said
Essentials, yeah.
Central,
No, it's essential.
essential, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
I've got an interagency meeting next week.
Okay. So we'll talk, we'll see when he gives us an email and laying out the site, if it works, we'll do it Thursday, if we can do it, if we need to do it sooner, we can. But if so, is we're coming at 5 or something, doing that out there, or work, if we just, does that work with you, is that too
Yeah.
early?
Yeah, that's fine.
We just throw on the agenda, we'll meet out there first, and
Make that
look at
work.
their plans and.
Okay.
We can look at those trees too, just kind of walk down, look at them. Okay, so we have there, we had claims here. Let's go around.
Melissa, did you get that email from Carl?
I'll just forward it on, yeah, to the.
Yeah, we'll
everybody.
forward it on to them, yeah.
And they can respond back, yeah. We got the claims here.
I've got Ron's, but I don't know about Paul's. And
Do you have any questions on them? I
No.
make a motion that we approve the claims.
I'll second that.
Yeah, got a motion second on the claim, motion and a second on the claims there. So, we vote on them, I guess. Yeah, yes, please, yeah.
Clark,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes. Okay, that's done. Now, yeah. All the same, so Todd had what I had, they're all the same, so. Yeah. Let's look at those. On that, I'll make a motion on that.
Make a motion that to approve the amended minutes to meet Iowa Public Information Board guidelines as presented to the clerk in this meeting, and for the minutes to be published into the Page County Board of Supervisors minute book.
I'll second that motion. We can vote on that.
Holmes,
Yes,
Mayor,
Yes.
Clark.
No.
motion carried. So now we have number 10 is to adjourn.
I move we adjourn at 9:43.
Got a motion?
Second.
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Adjourn.